Hi, this is Diamond in the Rough. I am the law. Now I'm going to talk about in this video illegal things that illegals do. All the Americans talk about it. I mean, when I talk to people on the street, they talk about the things that they do. And all these things that they do is right in plain sight. Okay? Now the government obviously does not care as long as it is off the radar. What do I mean by off the radar? What I mean is that it's not getting to the news media. Okay. Now, basically, these are crimes against the government. This is fraud against the government. The citizens can do nothing about it. The government uses the excuse, well, there's a language barrier and we don't want to be bothered with the paperwork. Number one, car license. How they get a license without a social security number, I don't know. Why does the federal government, the state governments give them a license without a social security card? I don't know, because I couldn't do it. If they get a major or a minor ticket violation, they have to go to traffic court. And from there, they're going to get deported. They know that. So what do? They hide the car in the back of the yard, and they take the license plate off. And sometimes they paint over the car. So therefore, no car, no court, no deportation. If they are in a serious car accident, they do the same thing. They hide the car in the back of the yard or in somebody's yard. Take the license plate off, repaint it, or sometimes just demolish it and get another car. No traffic court, no deportation. Number two, everybody works under the table. They don't pay FICA tax, federal, state, and local tax. They don't pay Social Security taxes. They don't fool me. They don't fool anybody else. They work in construction, the laundromats, and the restaurants. Okay? And, maybe nobody's going to make them work in America unless we do work under the table, huh? Okay? But they work under, they all work under the table. 100%. The women are on welfare. The government pays for the housing. The government pays for the food. And so all they have to do is get an under the table job, which they do. So the government pays for the housing, $900 a month. The government pays for the food, a minimum of $600 a month. And the government probably pays in that welfare check. The government probably pays for the car payment too. So all they have to do is work in a restaurant or in a laundromat and get play money. Number three, smuggling. They're some of the best in the world. They bring contraband and prostitution, etc. to America, which Trump likes, right? Number four, housing. Now, there's two ways to buy. They buy housing. One they buy it. Number two, they rent it. If they rent it, the government does pay 100% of the rent. There is no Section 8 because they are almost deleting Section 8. The government pays 90% of the rent. In other words, if the rent is $900 a month, the government will pay $890 of that dollars. So they only pay $10 a month. Okay, this is for the illegals and the refugees. Now, if they buy a house, for some reason they get a loan. I don't know how, but they do. They get a loan without a social security number, without a credit check. I don't know how they do it. Sometimes they use the children who were born in the United States, use their social security number. Now, if a regular American, middle-class American tries to buy a house, we get the third degree. They want all kinds of paperwork for the last 3 years to make sure you are who you say you are, and that you have the money and the credit rating that you say you have. Number five. So in other words, look, by the time they buy a house, they have saved enough money from the United States government's welfare and working on the table so they can put down a big down payment anyway. So the government is paying for them to buy a house too, technically. If they're renting, the government is paying virtually 100% of that rent. Even if the rent is $1,200 a month for 2-bedroom, the government's paying probably $1,175 of that. And of course, they're going to have 5 or 6 adult people living in that apartment, giving them $200 a month. So they're going to make money off of that. The government's paying for the whole apartment. So the government paying for at least, 7 people. Rent for at least 7 people. Okay? Now, the United States can stop 90% of the fraud. You know, the think tank say that 90% of the illegals are on welfare. That's what the think tank says. Google it. Now, all the United States has to do is get them off the welfare rolls. Now, why the banks decide to give them a loan and they don't have a Social Security card and no credit, that's their risk. They want if they want to have a high risk loan, they can do that. Or what? Loan sharks. Get a loan shark. Okay. Now, if a black man, you let a black man try to borrow $3,000 from the bank to expand his business, he would get the third degree. And look, or he'll say, go to a payday loan, which charges him what 30% interest. In other words, um, if he borrows $3,000, he probably has to pay back what, just a lot of money. With 30% interest, you do the math, almost $4,000 back. They're welfare cheats. Most of them are welfare cheats. Probably 99% of the ones on welfare are welfare cheats. That's what got the welfare queens in trouble, the black women who are welfare queens. Now, the problem with the welfare queens is that the government could trace the welfare queen through regular identification techniques like Social Security number. But see, they cannot trace the illegals when they commit fraud in the welfare system. They cannot trace them because they have no Social Security number. They have no identification. And the identification that they have is fake. Okay? But what they would do is they would go into social service and say, I have 3 kids. And there's no way to verify that one way or the other. So social services believe them. You have 3 kids, you have 3 kids. Now, as far as I know, back in the 70s, if a black woman or any woman on welfare says they have 3 kids, they have to come up with the birth certificates. So, but you know, if illegals say I have 3 children, they get what, $900 and no questions asked. They don't ask for a birth certificate, as far as I know, because half the kids are illegal themselves. Okay. Now, a lot of them double dip. In other words, they get welfare benefits in Tennessee and go across the border and get welfare benefits in North Carolina. So they are Marie Rodriguez in Tennessee, and when they go to North Carolina, they are Sally Rodriguez. And you know what? The welfare system, social services, is not going to question that. So the government is going to pay for housing in Tennessee, and when they go to North Carolina, the government's going to pay for the housing there too. And plus, they're going to get food stamps. They're going to get $600 in Tennessee. $600, that's $1,200. And what, $600 in North Carolina? Double dipping. So the government's paying benefits from 2 different states, state A and state B. That's common. The government is going to pay for car payments. I mean, really, if you're getting benefits from state A and state B, that's definitely enough money for a car. So the government is essentially paying the car payment for, if they have 2 cars, which I have seen that. They have 2 cars. They're on welfare with 2 cars. I've seen that plenty of times. They have 2 cars. The government is essentially paying the car payment or the car note because they're saving a lot of money. They're getting benefits from state A and state B. So the government's paying for 2 cars. They're paying for cell phones, etc. So these are some of the ways, 6, I counted, that the illegals cheat. I'm sure there are many other ways. Okay. Number 1, car license. Cheat on the, how to get a car license, I don't know. Make their car disappear to get a traffic accident. Number 2, working under the table. Number 3, smuggling. Number 4, housing. Make the government pay for the apartment. Make the government pay for the house if they buy a house. Number 5, welfare fraud. How they get bank loans, I don't know. And number 6 is welfare, massive welfare fraud. And the government knows about that, but you know, as long as it stays under the radar, I don't think the government really cares. In other words, as long as the media doesn't find out about it. And another one is, like I said, welfare cheats. There are men who, Mexican men, illegal men, who go into social service and say, give me some food stamps, welfare check, I have 2 kids. You got it. And you know what? They're not going to check either. Okay? Have a nice day.